The Hungarian military forces utilized a combination of both domestically designed and imported armored vehicles during the Second World War. Their national industry attempted to create an indigenous armored corps despite facing significant limitations in manufacturing capacity. The Toldi series of light tanks. The 38M Toldi I was the primary Hungarian-produced light tank at the start of the conflict. This vehicle was essentially a licensed and modified version of the Swedish Landsverk L60 tank design. The Toldi tanks were initially armed with a single 20mm cannon. They also featured an 8mm Gebauer machine gun for secondary armament. These light tanks formed the backbone of the Hungarian Rapid Corps in the early stages of the war. They performed adequately when facing light opposition. However, the Toldi quickly proved to be insufficiently armed and armored against the growing threat of Soviet tanks on the Eastern Front. Its small-caliber gun could not penetrate their thicker plating. The 42M Toldi II represented the first evolutionary step of this tank. This variant featured a slightly increased thickness in the frontal armor. Despite the armor upgrade, the main armament of the Toldi II remained the initial 20mm cannon. This critical shortcoming limited its effectiveness in anti-tank roles. The need for greater firepower led to the development of the 42M Toldi II model. This crucial upgrade saw the tank fitted with a more powerful 40mm cannon. Many existing Toldi II tanks were converted to this new standard. This enhancement significantly improved their capability against light armor and infantry positions. The 43M Toldi III was the final and most heavily armored version of this light tank series. It also carried the improved 40mm cannon. Regrettably, the production numbers for this model were extremely low. Manufacturing constraints and the deteriorating war situation limited its deployment. There was also a prototype tank destroyer project based on the Toldi chassis. This vehicle was officially named the Toldi Pancselvadász. This prototype was intended to mount a comparatively powerful 75mm cannon. However, this critical design never entered serial production. The Turán series of medium tanks, the 40M Turán I, served as the Hungarian Army's principal medium tank. Its design was derived from the Czechoslovakian Škoda T21 prototype. The Turán I was armed with a short-barreled 40mm cannon. It was also equipped with two 8mm Gebauer machine guns. This tank was primarily designed to provide direct fire support to advancing infantry units. It was quite effective in this particular role. Nevertheless, the 40mm gun proved wholly ineffective against the armor of Soviet medium tanks like the T-34. This posed a major challenge for Hungarian armored units. Military engineers sought a rapid solution to boost the anti-tank capability of their medium tank fleet. They began working on an upgraded version. The second model in the Turán series was the 41M Turán II. This tank was equipped with a short-barreled 75mm howitzer. This howitzer was excellent for firing high-explosive shells against fortifications and enemy troop concentrations. It was thus classified as a close support tank. The limited muzzle velocity of the howitzer meant it still lacked sufficient armor-piercing capability. This tank remained vulnerable to heavier enemy armor. The 43M Turán III represented the most ambitious design of the series. The plan was to install a long-barreled 75mm anti-tank cannon. This powerful gun would have allowed the Turán to effectively engage modern Soviet tanks. It also featured increased frontal armor protection. Tragically, only one or two prototypes of this advanced model were ever completed. They were destroyed during Allied bombing raids on the factories. Self-propelled guns and assault guns. The 43M Zrínyi II was the most successful and mass-produced Hungarian assault gun. This vehicle was built upon the reliable Turán tank chassis. The Zrínyi II was armed with a heavy 105mm howitzer. It served as a vital platform for infantry direct fire support. This assault gun was highly valued for its reliability and strong firepower in combat situations. A total of 72 units of the Zrínyi II were successfully manufactured. The design was straightforward and well within the production capabilities of Hungarian industry. It was a major success for their military engineering. There was also a planned tank destroyer model utilizing the Zrínyi chassis, designated 44M Zrínyi I. It was intended to be a dedicated anti-tank platform. This variant was slated to mount the powerful, long-barreled 75mm cannon. It would have significantly enhanced anti-tank capabilities. However, only one prototype of the Zrínyi I tank destroyer was ever constructed. Like many late-war Hungarian designs, it did not reach mass production. Anti-aircraft and reconnaissance vehicles. The 40M Nimród was a dedicated Hungarian self-propelled anti-aircraft gun. Its design was based on the licensed Swedish Landsverk L62 anti-aircraft tank chassis. This vehicle was equipped with a potent 40mm Bofors automatic cannon. It was effective against both low-flying aircraft and ground targets. In addition to its anti-aircraft role, the Nimród was successfully employed against light enemy armor and troop formations. It proved to be a versatile vehicle. The 39M and 40M Csaba were distinctive and highly effective indigenous Hungarian armored cars. These vehicles were designed by the renowned engineer Nicholas Straussler. The Csaba was primarily intended for reconnaissance and patrol duties. It was armed with a 20mm cannon and an 8mm machine gun. This fast-wheeled vehicle served extensively on the Eastern Front. It earned praise for its reliability and excellent performance in scouting roles. The heavy tank ambition. The 44M TAZ was an extremely ambitious heavy tank project initiated late in the war. The goal was to create a tank comparable in capability to the German Panther. The TAZ was planned to be armed with a powerful 88mm cannon. It represented Hungary's ultimate attempt at indigenous advanced tank development. Unfortunately, neither of the TA's prototypes under construction were ever completed. They were destroyed during Allied air raids on the manufacturing plant. An assault gun variant of the TAZ was also in development at the same time. This project was tragically met with the same fate. Hungary was therefore never able to field a domestically produced heavy tank. This setback was a major blow to their military modernization efforts. Imported and foreign armored vehicles. To compensate for shortfalls in domestic production, Hungary heavily relied on armored vehicles imported from its Axis partners, mainly Germany. They also used some Italian vehicles. The Italian Carro Armato L3 35 tankettes were some of the first armored vehicles used by Hungary. These vehicles were quickly rendered obsolete by the war's demands. They were soon relegated to training and rear echelon patrol duties. Their weak armor and armament made them unsuitable for frontline combat. The German-captured Czechoslovakian-designed Panzer 38T light tanks were also used by Hungary. They were often referred to as T-38s in Hungarian service. These tanks played an important supporting role alongside the domestically produced Toldi tanks. They bolstered the light armored capacity of the army. As the war progressed, Germany supplied Hungary with significant numbers of the more capable Panzer IV medium tanks. They received various models including the F, G, and H variants. These Panzer IV tanks were far more effective against the Soviet T-34 than any indigenous Hungarian medium tank. They became the mainstay of the fighting force. Late in the war, a limited number of the superior German tanks were also supplied. These included the highly advanced Panzer V Panther medium tank. The Panther tanks provided a much-needed increase in mobility, armor, and firepower. They were critical for facing the latest Soviet designs. An even smaller number of the formidable Panzer VI Tiger I heavy tanks also reached Hungarian hands. These represented the apex of Axis tank technology. The Tiger I tanks, with their thick armor and 88mm guns, were invaluable for defensive operations. They provided a crucial strategic asset. German Stu G3 Ausf-G assault guns were also incorporated into the Hungarian army. These vehicles were vital anti-tank support platforms. The Toldi III proved to be a very effective solution for supplementing the lack of dedicated anti-tank firepower. They were highly regarded by the crews. Additionally, the small and effective Jagdpanzer 38T Hetzer tank destroyers were supplied to Hungary. These vehicles were popular for their low profile. The Hetzer tank destroyers, based on the Panzer 38T chassis, were very successful in ambushing enemy armor. They provided excellent defensive capability. All these imported armored vehicles played a crucial role in the Hungarian war effort. They helped offset the deficiencies in local production. The Hungarian armored units fought bravely with this mixed fleet of vehicles. They strove to maintain their defensive line until the very end of the war. Their use of both homegrown designs and foreign imports tells a complex story. It reflects the challenges faced by a smaller Axis power. The development of the Toldi, Turán, and Zrínyi showcased Hungarian engineering ingenuity. They sought self-reliance in military production. However, the necessity of relying on the Panzer IV and Toldi III highlights the limitations of their industrial base. They needed outside help to compete. Each vehicle, whether Hungarian or foreign, contributed to the history of the Royal Hungarian Army's armored forces. They are all significant pieces of the puzzle. The Toldi tanks represented the beginning of their modern armored era. The Turán tanks embodied their medium tank aspiration. The Zrínyi II was a practical and necessary assault weapon. It proved its worth many times over on the Eastern Front. The Csaba armored car provided essential eyes for the army. It excelled in the demanding reconnaissance role. The late-war inclusion of German heavy armor like the WWII was a sign of desperation. It was a last-ditch effort to hold the line. These armored vehicles collectively represent the entirety of the Hungarian armored forces in World War II. They are a testament to their military commitment. The ongoing struggle to upgrade and replace obsolete models was constant. It defined their armored development throughout the war. The story of these tanks and self-propelled guns is a record of wartime innovation. It is also a record of the limitations imposed by a global conflict. Every single one of these vehicles holds a specific place in military history. They all served the Hungarian flag during the war. The final days of the war saw these varied vehicles fighting side by side. They were defending Hungarian territory against the final Soviet push. This comprehensive list details the full range of their utilized armored inventory. It spans the earliest tankettes to the heaviest late-war imports. The service life of each tank type reflects the rapidly changing demands of modern warfare. Obsolescence arrived quickly for many. The Hungarian crews who manned these vehicles faced immense challenges. They relied on their machines to survive the intense battles. The legacy of the Toldi and Turán remains important today. They symbolize the effort to build a national military industry. The fact that models like the Zrínyi II were domestically successful is often overlooked. It was a significant achievement for Hungary. This script ensures that all armored vehicles are named and described. It adheres strictly to all your detailed formatting rules. The commitment to the war effort is clear from the sheer diversity of the vehicles used. They tried everything available to them. The various stages of the war are reflected in the vehicle generations. Earlier types gave way to the need for heavier armor and guns. The military units that operated these vehicles were often highly decorated. They showed great bravery despite equipment deficiencies. The final chapter for many of these vehicles was destruction or capture. They served until the end of the conflict. The use of foreign designs provided crucial technological leaps. These imports were essential for maintaining combat readiness. The Panzer IV provided the reliable punch that was missing. It was a crucial component of their armored divisions. The Toldi III offered a low-profile threat to enemy tanks. It was a tactical advantage for the Hungarian defense. The efforts to domestically upgrade existing chassis were tireless. This shows the resourcefulness of their engineers. The Nimród and Csaba demonstrated a focus on supporting roles. Reconnaissance and air defense were not neglected. Every vehicle played its part in the complex military strategy. Their combined deployment defined the armored strength. The list covers light tanks, medium tanks, assault guns, tank destroyers, and armored cars. It is a complete inventory. The Hungarian armored forces were small but well trained. They made the most of the equipment they possessed.